Wink News welcomes you to the 22nd Annual Golden Apples Celebration of Teachers, presented by Suncoast for Kids Foundation. Hi, I'm Lois Tomey. Over the next hour, we will introduce you to 6 of Collier County's best teachers, this year's Golden Apple recipients. Our first Golden Apple teacher says her commitment to student success involves perseverance, endless self-reflection, and the desire to continually embrace new teaching practices. Let's meet 4th grade teacher Maria Christmas from Vineyards Elementary.
And remember when we made the pouches and we had to have our medicine pouches, and each one of you made one of these, and we all had our own headdresses that we made? Okay, so that started our whole adventure. That was the first week of school, and now we're at this point that we're going to be having 2 worlds collide.
On this spring day in the 4th grade blended gifted class at Vineyards Elementary, teacher Maria Christmas is continuing her year-long social studies look at Florida's early colonists and Native Americans in a unit called Long Journey of Our People. In order to embrace the many learning styles of her students, she uses a wide variety of teaching activities, including, but not limited to, having the students make and wear their own period clothing, watching relevant videos online, and creating what she calls topsy-turvy scrapbooks. Half of the book is about the colonists, and the flip side is about the Native Americans. She believes that experiencing history this way, rather than just reading about it, leads to a deeper understanding.
So now we've got the colonists have come, and now we've got this the Calusa and everybody, and the Tocobaga and the Tequesa. They're all here. Something else the colonists brought that was worse than any gun or any kind of weapon at all. Dylan.
The lesson today was really about the culmination of all the lessons that we went through, because not only are we doing the actual Native Americans coming to Florida, but we're also talking about the colonists. So the students get very connected to the Native Americans, and then I switch over to the first explorers. They get very connected to the colonists, and they're starting to see both sides of the story, and then they starting to see the actual disagreements that they have and the wars that start, and they start to feel very upset because they're attached to both sides.
Okay, so let's brainstorm on this. So first, when they first came, right, they were reluctant to helping them. So saying, let's try to, maybe if they would have been less reluctant to helping, right, and shared maybe their food and been more inviting, right?
So today was the culmination of that lesson of turning back the hands of time. If we could have that opportunity, how could we change history and try to make work together and use our communication skills better. And I'm just always trying to draw from them those life experiences. So it's kind of like experiencing history, but I'm always tying the reading and the writing and also all of the math that goes into it.
And if I said that this was 2, what is Y and what is Z? Okay, so let's look at X first.
In this math lesson, the students will use scissors, rulers, and multicolored construction paper to learn how to find the areas of irregular shapes. Once again, the emphasis is on collaboration, communication, problem solving, and experiential learning.
I think we need a bigger shape here, so how are we going to do that?
12 by 12.
Yes.
12 by 12.
That sounds great.
This is 12, and that's 8.
Well, this is 18, and this is 12.
Oh, it's 18.
Yeah, so let's go get rulers. You get your ruler and your scissors, and let's go ahead and get started.
Kind of wanted to bring it down and chunk the information together instead of just giving it to them as a plain figure. So as they're measuring, they're using a lot of skills. They're using measuring skills, and they're also using communication with one another and building this irregular figure, and also just working together on a project and trying to figure out how to put something together so that another group will have to come by and they will have to figure out the area of that irregular figure. The more I ask them, the more they engage and the more they own that lesson. It's not me just approaching them and telling them what to do. I don't want to tell them what to do. I don't want it to be bouncing off of them. I want it to be a part of who they are. And when they internalize the lesson and they own that lesson, then they're fully engaged.
She's phenomenal. She is so passionate about teaching and so passionate about her students. The way she connects with each and every one of her students it's so touching. She has really opened doors for my son that we were blown away by how she connected with Max immediately and just took him to levels we never expected.
She's a phenomenal teacher, and everyone loves her. So she's funny, smart, and creative.
She won't give up on us. She always keeps excelling us forward. She takes us over our aptitudes. And in writing, she showed us the latest essay we wrote, and the one that we wrote at the beginning of the year, there was a big difference.
I think the one thing that stands out the most is that she provides that warm environment for the students. Everybody can achieve. Everybody is a winner in her classroom.
Motivating me is the students and their energy that I get from them. And I keep thinking, how can I reach them and how can I touch their lives to make them lifelong learners? And so it's not just, I'm learning this lesson for just this week so that I can get this test done. I want them to be able to draw from every experience. I want to teach them how to make a quality project, how to be totally engaged with another student and to actually listen to what they have to say and to be able to be important in society. And that's what I want them to take from my classroom every day. So for them to do that, I need to do my part.
Our next Golden Apple teacher comes to us from Lorenzo Walker Technical High School. She says connecting her lessons to the real world keeps her students engaged and helps them value learning. Here's a look inside the classroom of reading teacher Darlene Crete.
We are going to do some pre-reading strategies to get us ready for the short story. One of the things that we're going to do is stick to it vocabulary. And I'm going to ask you to take little sticky notes and go around to the different definitions that are around the classroom and take a guess as to what do you think the word means on that sticky note and match it up with the definition.
Darlene Crete is about to introduce her 10th grade reading students at Lorenzo Walker High School to the famous short story Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. But before the students actually read the story itself, she prepares them with what she calls pre-reading exercises.
Let's go through the words. Follow along with me. Foresight, dissimulation, vexed, sagacity, hearkening, suavity, bade, audacity, reposed, and derision. Okay? Those are 10 words that are on red paper around the room with definitions. That's urging. I really try to build their vocabulary because that's the area that they seem to struggle with the most. And if they don't understand the vocabulary, it usually interferes with them understanding the passage or the story that we're reading. So I like to do things that kind of get them up and moving, and lots of collaboration. They'll talk to each other a lot. A lot of times, again, I think that helps students to really understand what it is that they're about to read, and if they can hear it from their peers, I think that kind of like kicks it up a notch.
I still awake every day.
Crete says she motivates her students by providing as many real-world connections to their lives as possible. And she uses many different activities to help engage each student's own unique learning style. For example, in this exercise, she asks students to take a stand on a theme or concept that will appear in the book or short story they're reading.
I'm going to ask you to either agree or to disagree. Okay? If you agree with the statement, I'm going to ask you to come stand up here. Okay? If you disagree with the statement, I'm going to ask you to come stand back here. It's part of what a normal class is for me as far as having students, you know, up and moving around and out of their seats, lots of hands-on activities. It's deliberate in the fact that these kids have different learning styles. They have different ways that they prefer to learn. They have different interests. So what I do is I try to tap into all those different ways of learning for kids so that I make sure that I'm kind of hitting everybody. We're starting our horror story. I want to make sure you get a good look at my eye. And I see some people kind of turning away saying, that's so disgusting, miss. Take a good look at my eye. Take a good look at the eye on the table. On the back of your prediction sheet, I want you to make a prediction about what do you think this might have to do with a horror story that we're about to read. And that's all you know right now. All you know is this disgusting looking eye. I think if they see me as a lifelong learner, as a lifelong reader, hopefully, even in just a small way, that they're going to want that for themselves. Learning never stops. If I'm teaching, I might be teaching when I'm 70 years old. I'd like to think that I'm still going to be taking classes and going to workshops and trainings and you know, reading books and then taking ideas and bringing them to my students.
When we're reading a book, I've always wanted to like keep going, because the books that she picks for us are so intriguing. Everything, all the activities help us get more into the books, because if you're just reading a book, you're not really like learning so much about it. But when you start asking questions about it, when you're going deeper into the literature, then you really get to that feel of that book and exactly what that book is trying to say, and she does that for us.
She actually goes and asks us individually, like, how do you like to learn? How do you learn best? And those are the things we did.
When she comes to school, she has a plan of attack. It's up on the board. A lot of material has been gone through, and she's selected things for her students. So I think preparation is number one. Number two, she's a great relator. She relates well to the students. She's able to get messages across, encourage students who want to maybe loaf or slack that day into, no, we've got to bring our A game today and do a good job.
Students really do make a difference, and that if we can just take the time and listen to them and kind of understand where they're coming from and make connections with them and help them to make connections with other things that are happening in the world, that they can do some wonderful things. They just need to be given that chance and somebody to believe in them and to see the value that they have. And when kids feel that way, great things happen, whether it be in the classroom or in their personal lives, out in the community, on the sports field, wherever it might be. So value students, make them feel important, honor them, and they will do great things.
As we all know, learning a second language isn't always easy. In fact, our next Golden Apple teacher faced those same struggles as a young boy when his parents moved from his native Scotland to Spain. Now he uses those life experiences to help teach Spanish. Let's visit the classroom of Barron Collier High Spanish teacher Michael Durack.
Your quiz tomorrow essentially is just the verbs by themselves, no pronouns, okay? So in today's lesson, we're doing the following. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to go and we're going to look at tableware. It's all linked into this chapter, okay then? So you want to say to somebody, I don't have one, or I don't have it. So we've done the activity, and what we're going to look at is basically tableware.
If you're thinking, that's not a Spanish accent you're hearing in this Barron Collier High School Spanish 2 class, you're right. Meet Michael Durack, Born in Scotland, raised in Spain, taught in places as diverse as the United Kingdom and North Carolina, and now he's the Scottish guy who teaches Spanish in Naples, Florida. As in any high school foreign language class, you'll find a lot of emphasis on vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. But Durack also wants his students to understand the culture of Spanish speakers around the world.
How do you do it in Spain? In Spain, what you do is you go. That's how you get their attention. Believe me, I tried it here when I first came over. It didn't go down very well, okay then? Okay then? That's what they do. Why? Seeing a child get it and understand it and use it, that's the buzz. Teaching is very different from other jobs. I've worked in different careers. I worked with computers, diving, you name it. Teaching by far is the most rewarding. Not financially, but you're not in it for the money. There's a lot of you invested into students. And the way I see teaching in my classroom, it isn't just teaching a foreign language. It's culture. They're the new generation. I expect them to travel the world. And guess what? 10 years time from now, a lot more people will be speaking Spanish. They don't have a choice. Spanish is going to hit them in the face. They need to know it. And if I can make it fun and get them to use it now and apply it, and see them the next day, they come and see me, oh, I spoke to somebody yesterday in Spanish. Great. That's the buzz, because they're using it outside the classroom. Servilleta, vaso, servilleta, vaso, plato, tenedor, cuchillo, cuchara, vaso, taza. Muy bien, señor. Perfecto, thank you.
Learning a foreign language always requires a lot of repetition in order to get words and phrases locked into a student's memory.
There we go. You may face one another, okay then?
But Durack believes repetition doesn't have to be boring. In fact, he utilizes a wide variety of exercises that include reading, writing, listening, speaking, and it seems most of all, moving.
So what's going to happen now is I'm going to say a word, and you got to race against the person in front of you and try and pick up the item. Face up the way, as you do, okay? You guys ready?
Like a game.
You ready? Let's see how well you get on. Cuchara, go. Cuchara, go, go, go. Well done. You're racing against the person against you. Getting them to do the work. Getting them to take ownership of what they're learning and make it fun. If it's fun, they want to do it. And they don't think they're learning. If they know they're learning, they'll get bored because learning isn't cool. Having fun is great. And seeing them do it gives me a buzz. That's the nice part about it. When they're doing it and they want to do it and they're competing, brilliant. They're taking ownership of it. Muy bien, vamos a ver, chicas. You ready? Simón dice la nariz, la boca. Wow, muy bien. ¿Sí? Simón dice las pestañas. It's a great thing to think that people are learning because of what you're doing. Even it's a small part of what you're doing. I think that's great. It's just like your own kids. When they grow up, you see part of yourself in them. That's the way I see it with students. Hopefully the way I'm teaching is getting them engaged and they want to learn the language. And they're motivated to learn it and possibly take it to college level. And that's a great motivator there.
Where he really does connect with the kids or engages the kids, actually, not connects, but engages, is that he works the class hard. He works them from opening bell to finishing bell. But I think partially also because the class is so much fun, the time goes so fast, which goes back to learning again. And I think that's a good thing. I think also, too, if you take the culmination of a great attitude that he has and a great effort, it's reflected upon the kids back to him. And I'd have to say that as far as that goes, that equals success on his part and success on the kids.
It's a lot of fun, but you have to definitely work hard in the class to keep up a good grade, but it's definitely worth it.
He gives a ton of effort and he really cares about his kids, and he really strives to make you have the best experience you can in his class. He teaches you about life and culture of different Spanish-speaking countries in Europe and how it affects the U.S. and everything. He's just a really great overall teacher.
It's really exciting. He keeps you interested. With everything he says, it's it keeps your attention. And if you get distracted and stuff, he'll bring you back to Spanish like that. And it's really easy to learn.
I think it's absolutely necessary that you keep the kids motivated and inspired. And I think he does it by bringing them into the 21st century, any lesson that he's teaching. Good teachers do that, and they can bring the kids into the 21st century and make the class relevant.
For me, education basically is a journey. You're going to be hit at different angles, different subjects, different teachers. You won't always get it right. You learn from your mistakes, and can you use it in life? And that's my way of teaching. They'll make mistakes in my class. I don't care about making mistakes. Are you learning from it? That's the whole point. Are you using it in life? That's my ultimate goal, for teaching something they can use. Not something they can just take the course. I've done that course. I'm done. I'm actually using it.
We still have 3 great teachers for you to meet, but first I'd like you to meet the Teachers of Distinction and Teachers of the Year. Please watch as each class introduces their favorite teacher.
I thought my students were going to introduce me today.
Mrs. Brown rocks. She makes school so exciting and fun. Hit it, guys. We're happy to learn. Mrs. Brown is cool. We rock our subjects and we love school. Mrs. Brown.
Introducing our teacher, Miss Buck.
S-U-C-C-E-S-S. That's the way we celebrate success.
This is Mrs. Seaback, our 3rd grade teacher. She is one of a kind. She teaches us strategies using our mind. She has a way of making learning fun. That is why she is teacher number 1.
Good evening, and thank you for taking the time to meet our fabulous VME Teacher of Distinction, Mrs. Descani.
Mrs. Descani inspires us to dream big, believe in ourselves, and reach for our goals.
1, 2, 3.
We would like to introduce and give accolades to our sagacious, exemplary, amicable, and peerless senior English teacher, Mrs. Beth Ella Diaz. The knowledge we garnered from her will last us a lifetime.
We think Miss Finger is awesome. Number 1.
Kind.
Funny.
Fantastic.
Cool. Helpful.
Mrs. Finger, she's more than just a finger. She's a helping hand.
This is Miss Gadames, our teacher.
She's helpful to us because she's the teacher and she's cheerful.
And she's a marvelous teacher, has a great sense of humor, and once in a while we play hard and we work hard.
Hi, we're here to introduce our teacher, Mrs. Gardner. She sees a better future in me and all of her students.
Miss Gardner is a big motivation for me.
She's a huge inspiration.
Miss Gardner isn't just a teacher, but a role model to me and to the entire student body.
It is my pleasure to introduce you to our teacher, Mrs. Jordan, from Veterans Memorial Elementary School.
We love school! Mr. Tucker's in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. And he's gonna expand your mind. Every day I'm learning it.
I am happy to introduce you to our 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Levy.
We will succeed because we can succeed.
Introducing our cheerleading coach,
Our English, our junior class sponsor, our television productions,
drama teacher, and my inspiration, Miss Scarlett Levy.
You don't need a microscope to see that Miss Levy, my biology teacher at Lorenzo Walker Technical High School, is the best teacher alive.
It's biology and you know it.
I would like to introduce the most remarkable teacher, Miss Lindsay, who flips for us, dances for us, and sings for us, and who makes us really smart.
Hi, it's our pleasure to introduce our pastry instructor, Shebecca, from Lorenzo Walker.
We love Miss Moreno. She is the best. She puts our brains to the test. She gives us a key to unlock our minds so we can be smart all the time.
Miss Niebauer always asks us to do our personal best.
Do your personal best.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, live all the way from Veterans Memorial Elementary, we're proud to present our rock star teacher, Mrs. Raina Overmeyer. our teacher, Miss Pukin. She breaks down late and makes it very fun. We love school! Mrs. Roche is the best, putting our minds to the test. She makes learning so much fun. She'll always be our number one. And here she is, Miss Roche.
What you know about math? What you know about math? What you know about math?
I know all about math.